Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Driving Digital Stand-Up. I am Isaac Sacolick, the author of Digital Trailblazer and Driving Digital. And today I'm going to share with you one of my greatest and most important secrets about aligning stakeholders to your digital transformation efforts. I do this through writing vision statements. I'm going to share you the secrets of writing vision statements. I've been doing this for well over a decade in all the digital transformation programs that I guide and lead. I'm going to also share with you how to get access to my template. So let's get started about how and why we write vision statements. So I want to share with you the motivation to talk to you today about why vision statements are so important. They come from two words that I hear from aspiring transformation leaders. They want support for their program, and ideally they want sponsors. And I'm here to tell you that's really not good enough. I'm going to be planning and executing transformation efforts. I'm going to want to see my efforts work with customers and employees. That means I really need a partner, somebody who's ready to take action and work with me every sprint and every release to make sure that we're aligned and working together to drive the transformation impact. Now, I tell a lot of these stories in my new book, Digital Trailblazer. If you haven't picked up a copy yet, please consider doing so. You can get it at starcio.com/digital-trailblazer, and I share a lot more information about the book on that page. Now I'm going to share with you what it looks like and what the stakeholders picture when you do not write a vision statement. What's in their mind when you start talking about your initiative and what you're trying to accomplish. Look at all these stakeholders, business leaders, partners, their hands are behind their back. They're looking at whatever pictures you've drawn for them about your initiative in terms of its experience and its roadmap. And they all have very different pictures about what the outcome is going to look like, what it means for them, for their business, for their team and the department. They don't really have a clear idea of what your vision is. Until you write this down and you share with them and you collaborate with them, they have all different pictures about what you're trying to accomplish and how you're going to get there. Can't be definitive about this, right? We're doing this in an agile way. We're learning as we're going through. We're trying to collect feedback from our customers about how things are progressing. So it's really important to get that partnership right at the onset as you're thinking about your initiative. So let's talk about what goes into a vision statement so that you can get that partnership right from day one. So my objective in writing vision statements down is to get the partnership with stakeholders from day one, get the collaboration with my team in terms of what our objectives are, and really execute smarter, faster, safer, and more innovative transformation programs. I'm going to share 5 attributes of what goes into a really well-written vision statement. First and foremost, they're written collaboratively, right? This isn't the team writing a vision statement and going back to stakeholders to get their support. It doesn't work, right? We're going to do this together, either on virtual calls or ideally in rooms together. We're going to come up with our objectives together. Second, we're going to come up with a time horizon. Right? Am I writing a vision for the next quarter and what's going into the next release? Maybe it's a vision for the next year and what my objectives are, or maybe it's a multi-year vision of what about a new product or a new service is going to accomplish. I might write all 3 of those vision statements so that we can align our stakeholders and our teams around different horizons, but you'll see they are not perfect. We're not trying to write a full requirement. It's really just creating a picture of what we're trying to accomplish in that time frame. We're going to try to create some guardrails, a nice term that we use for self-organizing teams. How do they know what the constraints are going into our programs? And it helps them answer key questions that define a North Star for the work that they're doing together. So very important for your team leaders to participate in this program. We want these vision statements short and easy to modify. This is one of the questions I get. We write a vision statement for the year. We do our first release in quarter 1, and we find out through feedback from customers that we have to change or pivot or adjust what we're working on. We want to be able to version and update our vision statements so that we can adjust based on the feedback that we're getting. And then lastly, we want them standardized, right? If I'm working in an organization that looks at 7 or 8, maybe 70 to 80 different programs every single quarter, I want some uniformity of format so that different people can look at these vision statements and have a clear idea of what goes into them. Now, this is part of my toolkit. Again, I use this in every single one of my digital transformation initiatives, and continue to stay tuned. I'm going to share some more aspects of the vision statement. I'm going to walk you through them, and then I'm going to share how to get access to it. So now that we understand the why, we're going to discuss the how. How do these actually work? And they start by really focusing on a problem statement. So many times I walk into a team and I ask them what they're working on and why. They don't have a problem statement defined. We need to be able to do this from the lens of a customer or end user. And so we're going to define the problem statement first. The second thing is what we're not going to do, and that's define really complex artifacts that we used to call business cases or P&L or financials or architectures or timelines. These are things that require planning, right? And before I start planning an initiative, I want to make sure we're aligned on the vision, who it's for, why it's important, why we're working on it, what we're trying to accomplish. These are the things that we really need to focus on at the start of an initiative before we even start planning it, and saying we like these outcomes, they're really important, and it's worth dedicating a team to figure out some key questions around it. So thanks for being patient. We now know how, we know why. I'm now going to share you aspects of the StarCIO vision statement template. So this is the PowerPoint version of the StarCIO vision statement template. There's also a version we have for Confluence, and we even have a database version for anybody that wants to create a workflow around this. What you're seeing at the very top is it needs a little bit of context for anybody reading through this statement template. We give everything a product name because we're not focused on projects anymore. We're delivering products to customers that can include real consumers, it can include end users, it can include stakeholders, but we're going to give it a product name. We want to know who the author of the statement is and who the collaborators are, who are the key teams, the founders of this idea. We're giving this particular vision a name, a version, and a target time frame. So I might write a vision for a 3-year product. I might put out a separate vision statement for what I want to accomplish for the first year. So that's the details that I'm starting with. Now, on the left-hand side of the vision statement, you're seeing writing in the language of benefactors, in other words, customers. The very first thing I want to make sure that we are partnered on is who we are doing this for. I'm calling these benefactors so that if you are doing something customer facing, you can call them customers. If you're doing something internal, your benefactors are employees, okay? It could be people on your supply chain. It could be specific groups in compliance. I want key people, really named personas, departments, names of people really impacted, but by what you're trying to invest in. What's the goal for what you're trying to accomplish, and what's the value proposition? What are you giving them that's going to get them interested, aligned, and partnered with the objective that you're laying out? So that's the benefactor side of this. The right-hand side is strategy, right? And I boil down strategy to one really key question: why and why now, right? Thinking through, I might get dozens of vision statements coming across my desk as a CIO. Why are we focused on this particular initiative right now? Why is it important? And let's talk a little bit about OKRs or KPIs. What are we trying to impact? I want to think about this right from the beginning so that when we bring our stakeholders together, we bring our teams together, we have a partnership about what we're trying to accomplish. Now, what you see at the bottom here is a little bit more variable, right? In the template that I share, you'll get access to it. I promise you this. You're going to see what I usually put in these bottom fields that are very typical for a vision statement in a digital transformation program. But what we do in some of our workshops at StarCIO is really figure out what is the most meaningful things to fill out that stakeholders and teams need to see to get really partnered on what this vision is and what we're trying to accomplish. But at the very bottom, I include additional references, right? Links to additional documentation to delve further for people to read forward on. Remember, the vision statement is a single page, whether you're doing it in my tool or in a PowerPoint slide. But if you want more information, where do you go to? And it has a published date. When did I actually finish this, so that people know the rough time horizon about what the vision's written for, but when did we actually publish this particular vision? That's the template, okay? That's the secret. Looks really simple, but the most effective communication tools and partnering tools are the ones that are easy to write and easy to consume, and that's what you're getting in this statement template. Now hold on one more slide. I'm going to share with you one more set of information about vision statements, and then also share with you how to get access to the StarCIO vision statement template. So you've brought your collaborators together, you're partnered, you've defined your vision statement, and you're now asking, now what? Now, when you download the vision statement template from me, you're going to get the 5 next steps to do once you have a vision statement locked and loaded. Again, here you go. Here's the URL to get access to the StarCIO vision statement template, starcio.com/DDS-vision-statement. You're going to get access to download that. It's in PowerPoint format. If you want the other formats, you'll find ways to reach me around that. And you'll get this set of documents and instructions on how to use the vision statement template. So please download it. You're also going to get access to the Driving Digital newsletter that has access to all of my writing. I put one newsletter out with the 8 to 10 articles and 2 videos that I do every single month. I want to thank you for joining this episode of the Driving Digital Stand-Up. Remember that we believe that the power of one page, sharing one-pagers with your team, is really how you go from just support to alignment to partnership, and really embrace the art of collaborating around this, right? This is something that may take some time to do, but you're doing it well before you're starting to work on your initiative. If you read chapter 6 of my book, Driving Digital, I talk about how to take vision statements and start really planning initiatives out. There's an entire framework around that in that book, Driving Digital. Again, thank you for joining this week's Driving Digital Stand-Up. I hope you will join me at the Coffee with Digital Trailblazers. I do that every single week at 11 a.m. and you can get that every single week on Friday at 11 a.m. and you can find that on LinkedIn and get to the URL starcio.com/coffee/next-event, and you'll be able to join that event anytime you want on Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Thanks again for joining the Driving Digital Stand-Up, and I'll see you in a few weeks with our next episode.